Hey there, YouTube. Okay, so I want to talk about mediumship a little bit. And, you know, the later it is on my side, the more crazy my hair gets, right? Like this right here, a lot of light sockets I had to stick my finger into to get this, okay? You guys, I go to some great lengths to give you some great hairdo, okay? With that being said, though, let's talk about some mediumship stuff. I'm going to get right into it, you guys. Like, imagine if I did my readings the same way as this, right? So, I wanted to talk about something. I've been studying mediumship, right? And some of you guys may know that mediumship is different than just connecting psychically with somebody. So, the main difference is, though, that if you want to imagine psychic ability, it's kind of like a deep lake. Like, you can get information, a lot of information from somebody using psychic ability, right? But if you want to connect with someone's loved ones that have passed on, or their spirit guides, or with you know, just things like that, you have to go with mediumship. And with mediumship, instead of a deep lake, it's like you have a deep ocean. Because mediumship is psychic ability plus raising up your vibration even higher. So mediumship is the ability to connect with people that have passed on, or ascended masters, or spirit guides, and to be able to not only connect, but to maintain that connection, right? So medium, essentially what it means is that you are the medium. You're the in-between channel. So what a medium essentially does is we have a vibration, right? And even if we raise our vibration with a good diet, you know, eating healthy foods, not a lot of processed foods, and exercise, and just, you know, maintaining healthy eating habits, cleanliness, and all that kind of stuff, as long as we maintain that, our vibration is high, and positive thoughts are obviously a huge thing. The more loving that we can be, the more in that space of mediumship that we can get into. It's an entropy state. It's what the universe wants. It wants as little conflict as possible, and when we reach that within ourselves, we can do mediumship and help other people, right? Now, that being said, when a medium starts to connect, what that looks like is, like I was talking about, the vibration, okay? When you're a medium and you're first starting out, your vibration is very low, but it's going like this, okay? And when you try to connect to the spirit has to come down and meet your vibration. But the easiest way to communicate with spirit is for you to go up and meet their vibration as much as possible. They have to bring down their vibration because they're vibrating super fast up here, and they have to bring down their vibration to your vibration, okay? But when we meditate and we get to know ourselves and we get to know what's going on with us, then we can connect with spirit guides. We can connect with people that have passed on, and we can actually become what some people have called evidential mediums, where not only can we get details of how the person passed on, but we can also get, well, like I said, how they died, possibly what their name is. That's a little bit harder to do, okay, because that involves being able to really listen to the subtle cues of energy. You're not always going to get names. So how they died, possibly what their age was, definitely male or female, like what color clothes they like to wear, all these different evidence things, where they lived, again, how they died, things like that. And that becomes evidential mediumship because you're able to pick up on these details. So once our vibration, or our aura, or whatever you want to call it, reaches that state where we can get the information from somebody, then we can kind of start to merge with the spirit, and we take our ego selves out to the left or the right side of us, right? We take our ego selves out of the equation, and we put in a clear channel, okay? So I want you guys to imagine, yourselves as a glass of water, okay? Now, what's interesting about this glass of water is that it's water, okay? There's nothing really interesting about it. This is just you. You're a glass of water, okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to take this glass of water and we're going to pour it out, okay? And in exchange, we're going to replace the water that we poured out with like a blue color water or a red colored water. And what this is that it's the mediumship energy. We're emptying the ego out of us, and we're accepting in this other energy, this other like life force, so to speak. We're accepting this spirit, and it's a higher vibrational energy. It's very strong. And when it starts to enter our presence, we can start to get ideas that the person had, ways that the person was, that we're connecting to, that has passed on. We can start to really get details of the person. The more clear of a channel we can be, a medium, then the more clear we can communicate, right? So that's what I wanted to talk about. Now, this is where it gets interesting, okay? So I have a few points written down here, and I hope all of that made sense. If it didn't, please let me know. I'm trying to get better at my speaking skills, because I want to eventually do classes. I want to teach you guys, and eventually teach myself something too, but okay, so let me know if it made sense or not. So number one, the first thing, mediums can achieve cohesion with spirits by using active passivism. So when I say cohesion, I mean that we meld with the spirit, right? Us and the spirit kind of become one in a sense. This takes a lot of energy, and despite what most people think, when we're connecting with the spirit on such a high energy level, even if they're not that high up, it's going to take some energy out of us. Right now, me personally, I can do a mediumship connection for maybe about 45 seconds. Okay, the bigger mediums out there can do a mediumship connection for, you know, half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. But afterwards, they are exhausted. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of fuel for these spirits to come in. For them to communicate with us, it takes a lot of energy because we're meeting right in the middle, right? We have to raise our vibration up high. They have to bring theirs down low. And when they connect with our energy, it's almost like they're anchoring themselves to the earth using our energy. It's not a bad thing that they do that. That's the only way they can communicate with us. But that's what they have to do. And when we do that, it expends energy. Okay, and it can expend a lot of energy, especially when you're not used to this. So that's the one thing. So the cohesion is the merger of the spirit and the person. Okay, that's where the mediums come in. And then we have, when I say active passivism, okay, what I mean by that is that we have to reach a state of active observation. Okay, now judgment is just the thought of active looking and trying to discern what it is that we're looking at, right? So we reach a space where we're not judging. The active passivism is where we can look at something without judging it, and we accept it for what it is. Okay? The more open-minded we can be when we're doing mediumship readings, the better we can get information, right? And the more happiness we can bring into our atmosphere, and the more excitement and joy and love that we can bring into our atmosphere, the more spirits are going to want to connect with us. So think of it like this. If I was really, really grumpy, and I can be a grumpy damn bear, okay? Just depends, but if I was really grumpy, you guys, you wouldn't want to come up and talk with me, right? You'd be like, damn, that guy's really grumpy. You'd probably call me an asshole or something. You know, I don't judge, but you wouldn't want to be around me. So the spirits are the same way. They don't want to be around someone that's like that either. They want to be around someone who is a centered person, who is a neutral person, which means that when they're giving a reading, they're not giving away too much. They're not holding on too much to their own biases, which is why we take the ego out. Okay, and I can give an example of this right now. So let's say I'm doing an energy reading for somebody, and I myself really, really hate the color red. I'm wearing red right now. Obviously, I don't hate it. I love the color red, but for this demonstration, okay. Let's say I really hate the color red, okay? And a person says, I had this wonderful dream, and there was all this red energy, and there was all this beautiful red energy, and then I say to them, I say, you know what? No, red is really bad. The fact that you felt wonderful dreaming about red, that means that you're possessed. There's an evil thing around you, because red is a really bad energy. Okay, all of this is perception. That is a bias that I had, and I passed it on to someone else because of my own biases. You have to work through what you have as biases, because that does not help the person that you're trying to teach. Sorry I went all Papa Bear on your ass, but it's true, okay? So the biases we have to get rid of. No color is a bad color, okay? They're just perception. If we see a color in someone's aura and it's murky and it needs to be cleansed, that's something different. But if the person comes to us and they say, I'm seeing this and I'm doing this, and you feel happiness with it, you feel whatever, tell them what you're feeling, but don't give your biases into what's going on. If you hate the color red and they love the color red and blah, 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 I'm just giving that as an example, okay? don't go into this with biases, because that's the ego. So the active passivism is where we reach a state of just relaxing, letting things come in. We don't judge what we're going to say to the person we're doing the mediumship reading with. We just say it. Okay? And that's the hardest thing. I've had some weird mediumship readings when I've done it. Okay? I had one spirit... Okay. I had one spirit that when I was doing a session with this person, I said, give me evidence that this is who I'm speaking with, right? And I swear to God, and I'm not making this up, the spirit farted, okay? And if you're wondering, how does a spirit fart? I'll tell you. They can just do it. So they farted, I smelled it, you know, Claire, I can't remember what it's called, but it's the psychic sense of smell. And I smelled it, and I just kind of laughed and was taken back, and I was scared to death to message the person that, hey, your loved one that you were messaging me about just farted. You know, like, how do you present that? But you know what? I just did it. I said, okay, this is going to sound weird, but your loved one farted, to show me that it was them. And they laughed, and they said that was what they would do. They were jokers, they would fart all the time, they would do that kind of thing, but that was what they would do, and that's how they presented themselves, which was absolutely lovely. But that was my very first mediumship session, and that's exactly what happened. So Spirit has a way of making it, you know, entertaining and very weird and bizarre, but wonderful at the same time, right? But that's what I'm talking about, okay? So you have that. I have a few more points here. 2 more points, okay? So when you get later on into the mediumship and you've really started to develop as a medium, there's different vehicles that you can kind of enter into, and I'll mention that right here. These are just notes that I've written, so I'm trying to find how to put this. Mediums can create vehicles of thought that spirits can use for specifying information, aka obtaining evidence. So you can create a means of a way for a spirit to give you certain information and then have that carry on into what it is you're trying to get. So for instance, let's say I have a scenario in my mind where I can understand where a spirit came from in the United States or in the world. And the way that I do that is I have this globe, and I'm thinking about this globe really, really strongly in my head. And I just let go of the thought, and I just send out a message that the spirit I'm connecting with, I say, show me where on this globe you came from. And then it'll spin around, or it'll do whatever it needs to do. The spirit's taking control, and they can drop a pin right where they came from. You can create thoughts and scenes that the other spirits can use to influence themselves into your reality. And when you do that, you're creating a way to make very specific information. You're creating a way to make a connection or a link with the spirits in a very specific way where you can get evidential proof that life exists beyond this mortal life, right? And that's huge to people. It's absolutely phenomenal for people. Okay, this is the last one we'll say here, and this is mediumship abilities come from raising your power and further deepening what is already a psychic bond. All right, and we kind of discussed that a little bit, but I'll go into it. So mediumship abilities, like I said, it's about raising the vibration further than a psychic connection. So when you're connecting with someone psychically, it's like, and you guys, if you've connected psychically with someone, it's this thing where there's like images that kind of flash into your mind for not even a 1/10 of a second, but they flash in your mind, and they're vivid scenes and details, and you can just translate them, right? There's claircognizance, where you know exactly what the information is pertaining to. There's clairaudience, where you see in the third eye when your eyes are closed, or if they're open. Sometimes people can see visions when their eyes are open, but they see right here. They can see the information. They can see a person with long black hair, a woman, looked like she was in her 20s. And sometimes you'll get that. You'll get a full portrait of a person or a scene, and your mind, in an instant, your soul, your mind, your ability to translate it, it happens very fast, very quickly. And that's what psychic ability is. Mediumship ability is to take that even further and be able to become the person that you're wanting to connect with, in a sense, right? Instead of pulling information from the environment, instead of taking the information from and the environment or a person that's living, you're taking information from someone who's passed on, who's in an ethereal realm, and information from these people tends to come at a faster rate once you're connected, but it also expends more energy. So that's kind of the difference. One of them is more of an environmental connection or a living person connection, and the other one is connecting with ethereal beings, people that have passed over that are no longer alive, and you can definitely connect with them. But it just requires a little bit more energy and expenditure, and it requires a deeper relaxing of the body. I don't know if relaxing is a word. It requires a deeper relaxing of the body, but that's the main differences. Let me know if that makes sense to you guys. I hope you liked this video, and yeah, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And I do the tarot readings. You guys can look down below. I do a detailed soulmate reading spread that you guys can look at if you're interested. And in the future, it's not going to be for a while, I'll be able to do some mediumship readings as well, and definitely some more psychic readings. And you can message me and ask me about energy healing, because I do some energy healing on people to help with emotional issues, and to also help with physical pain as well. We can set up a session with that, and I can just send you an email and the payment link and all that stuff. But I love you guys, and I really hope that this finds whoever needs to watch it, and I appreciate you guys for being on my channel. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I will talk with you guys during the week. I'm going to be putting up the rest of my my videos that I'm currently releasing for the rest of the zodiac signs. So you guys take care. I love you, and I will talk to you very soon. See ya.